the Knights Templar. Few medieval orders have captivated our imagination quite like these warrior monks. In popular culture, the Knights Templar appear everywhere. From best-selling novels like The Da Vinci Code to video games like Assassin's Creed and films like Kingdom of Heaven. These stories have perpetuated numerous myths that the Templars were guardians of the Holy Grail, members of a continuing secret society, possessors of vast hidden treasures, or keepers of esoteric knowledge. The historical reality, however, is no less fascinating. Founded in 1119 and dissolved in 1312, the Knights Templar were active for less than 200 years, yet their impact was profound. What truly sets the Templars apart was their dual role. They were both fierce warriors and innovative financiers. They served as an elite fighting force during the Crusades, while simultaneously developing sophisticated banking systems. In this series, we'll separate fact from fiction, exploring the true story of the Knights Templar. You'll discover that the historical reality of this medieval order is far more compelling than any fictional portrayal. The Knights Templar were renowned as one of the most formidable fighting forces of the medieval period. The Templars were known for their unmatched discipline on the battlefield. They never surrendered unless their banner fell, were highly trained in mounted combat, used advanced armor and weaponry, and strictly followed their military code. The Templars pioneered effective cavalry charges and fighting formations that maximized their relatively small numbers on the battlefield. Their most famous victory was the Battle of Montchisard in 1177. Just 500 Templar knights, alongside King Baldwin IV, faced Saladin's army of 26,000 men. Using a surprise attack in the desert, they achieved a decisive victory despite overwhelming odds. Beyond open battles, the Templars built massive castle networks across the Holy Land. They designed innovative defensive structures, controlled key routes and strategic positions, and created supply chains to sustain their armies. The Templars excelled at strategic military movements. They coordinated with other Crusader forces, adapted tactics to counter Muslim armies, protected vulnerable flanks during marches, and maintained discipline even during retreats. The Knights Templars' military prowess made them legendary warriors whose influence extended far beyond their relatively small numbers. The Knights Templar maintained a strict hierarchical structure that contributed significantly to their efficiency and power. At its core, the Templar organization was divided into three main ranks: knights from noble families, non-noble sergeants, and chaplains who served religious functions. The knights were the elite warriors of the order, coming exclusively from noble families. They wore distinctive white mantles with a red cross and formed the primary fighting force. As full members, they took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, dedicating their lives to the order's mission. Knights were equipped with the finest armor and weapons of the time. Their distinctive uniform and equipment served both practical and symbolic purposes, making them instantly recognizable on the battlefield. The sergeants were non-noble members who wore black or brown mantles instead of white. They served as support troops in battle and administrators during peacetime. Remarkably, they comprised nearly 90% of the order's membership, managing the vast network of Templar farms, workshops, and daily operations. The chaplains were ordained priests who provided spiritual guidance to the order. They administered sacraments, maintained records and correspondence, and were the only ones allowed to hear the knights' confessions. Their religious authority complemented the military and economic aspects of the order. At the top of the Templar hierarchy stood the Grand Master, who held authority over the entire order. Below him were key officers, including the Seneschal, who acted as his deputy, and the Marshal, who oversaw military operations. Regional commanders governed Templar activities in specific territories. The Templars' organizational structure was a key factor in their rise to power. Their clear chain of command enabled rapid decision-making in battle and administration. By assigning specialized roles, they maximized individual talents while maintaining unity of purpose. The integration of military, economic, and religious functions created a self-sustaining organization unlike any other of its time. By the mid-12th century, the Knights Templar had accumulated vast wealth and extensive landholdings across Europe and the Mediterranean. Their territories stretched across Western Europe, including strategic locations in England, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and the Holy Land. The Templars managed extensive agricultural estates, including farms, forests, and entire villages. These properties generated steady income through crops, timber, and rents collected from tenant farmers. Their possessions included hundreds of castles, churches, and commanderies, fortified administrative centers that served as local headquarters throughout their territories. The Templars revolutionized medieval finance by pioneering early banking systems. They managed international money transfers and issued loans to nobility and royalty, becoming the medieval equivalent of a multinational financial institution. Templar Knights served as trusted financial advisors to monarchs throughout Europe. Kings like Louis VII of France and Henry II of England relied on Templar expertise to manage royal treasuries and finance government operations. Their immense wealth translated into unprecedented political influence. Templars enjoyed direct access to popes and monarchs, allowing them to shape international politics and negotiate between kingdoms. They operated with remarkable independence, answering only to the Pope and enjoying immunity from local laws and taxation, further enhancing their political power. The Knights Templar became one of the largest landowners in medieval Europe, with unprecedented wealth for a religious order. Their financial innovations outlived the order itself, creating systems that would evolve into modern banking. However, this extraordinary wealth and influence eventually contributed to their downfall. Modern research into the Knights Templar has expanded considerably in recent decades, with the Salzburg International Templar Studies Network leading efforts to uncover new historical evidence. This network conducts multidisciplinary research by re-examining historical documents, studying Templar tombs, and using modern scientific methods to reconstruct the historical context of the order. Recent archaeological discoveries continue to provide new insights into the Knights Templar. In Staffordshire, UK, researchers discovered potential Templar graves in 2021 and 2023, featuring distinctive crosses and symbols associated with the order. Archaeologists now employ advanced technologies to uncover Templar sites and artifacts. Ground-penetrating radar allows researchers to detect buried structures and tombs without disturbing historical sites. These technologies have revolutionized Templar research, allowing for digital mapping of Templar networks across Europe and the Middle East, while carbon dating provides more precise timelines for discoveries. Excavations across Europe have led to exciting discoveries. Archaeological methodology has evolved to ensure careful documentation and analysis of Templar sites. Recent significant findings include the discovery of tunnels at a Templar site in Czorszczany, Poland, possible Templar carvings on Oak Island, and new artifacts with distinctive Templar symbolism found throughout France. The significance of modern Templar research extends beyond mere historical curiosity. By separating historical fact from medieval myth, researchers are constructing a more accurate understanding of the Knights Templar. This research provides invaluable insights into the daily lives and practices of Templar Knights, maps the true extent of their influence throughout Europe, and ensures important historical sites are preserved for future generations. As archaeological techniques and historical research methods continue to advance, our understanding of the Knights Templar grows ever more nuanced, building a bridge between their medieval world and our modern one.